Hi and welcome to this ADF Academy video presented by Comsys. My name is Christian and today we are talking about the ADF Dashboard. The ADF Dashboard is the web user interface for the ADF series of active filter. You can use the ADF Dashboard when connecting your computer via network to the ADF active filter and typing in the IP address of the filter. The standard IP address is 169.254.254.254. This works with every browser if you use Chrome, Firefox, Internet Explorer, Edge or any other browser. That works just fine. We have password protection on our interface. As a standard, however, there is no password, so you just type in admin and leave the password field blank and you're able to log in. Now you can see the main dashboard. Here we have a bunch of different buttons that you can click, and most of the buttons will actually open a window. These windows can be moved around. You can zoom the entire browser, or you can just stack them up in the way you want to see it the best, that fits best for you. If we look through here, the first few buttons are more settings, the next few buttons are more on the measurement side, and then we have some controls over here, including the status information and an about window. Let's go through the buttons just quickly and see what windows we have here. We have the configuration with some general configuration like date and time, language, temperature, the auto start possibility, auto restart on alarm, standby functionality, resonance detections, as well as all the digital inputs and digital outputs can be selected in the configuration window. The compensation window is probably most important window when working with an active filter. It shows you the settings to compensate on power factor, load balancing or harmonics. I will go a little bit deeper in here so you understand all the different settings. On the PFC we have static, where you can just select a certain kVAR value that you want to put out. That can be inductive direction or capacitive direction. Or we have a dynamic mode where you can set a power factor set point, and the active filter will try to reach this power factor set point with the power that is available. Here we also have two extra options where you can say reach this dynamic set point but only use inductive compensation or only use capacitive compensation. So if you're simulating like typical passive power factor compensation, that is similar to the dynamic capacitive mode. The load balancing is balancing the fundamental current, the active power in the system from one phase to the other to balance everything out. And then we have the harmonics compensation over here. We can enable it in CT control or we enable it in sensorless control. Sensorless control requires an extra license key. That one is not set in here at the moment. So we select CT control and then we can select the harmonics that we want to compensate. For example, 100% of the 5th harmonic we want to reduce. We want to remove 80% of the 7th harmonic and maybe 50% of the 11th harmonic. There's some unbalanced support as well. If you have very unbalanced harmonics on the 3 phases, then you can select that here. We have the compensation set 2 times. We have a primary and we have a secondary compensation set. Here you can use complete different settings between one and the other and switch over with a digital input or via Modbus. Then we have the network settings with just general information about the network, the IP address, MAC address, host name. Here is where you can set the password for the web interface, and this password will also block the extended HMI if you have one on your active filter. Modbus TCP can be activated over here, and the multi-master functionalities and the settings are seen over here. Then let's go over to the measurement part. The main measurement window shows a very good overview of the load that we have. Here we have at the moment a phase to neutral voltage of 220 volt and a current of around 500 amps. We have about 45% current distortion here and 3.5% voltage distortion. Active power can be seen here, reactive power, so we have a little bit reactive power running here, the apparent power, and then power factors. We see also the frequencies, temperatures, ambient and IGBT temperature, as well as the utilization and the DC link voltage of the active filter. We also have a spectrum view where we can see the spectrum on the CT current, on the output current, or on the phase voltage. This spectrum you can also scale, so over here we only see the harmonics very small, and if we zoom it, scale it over to the harmonics, then we see all of the harmonics. Right now we have a little bit of 5th, 7th and a bit of 9th harmonic in this network. Waveform, we have similar information. We also have the CT current, that's what we're seeing here. This is just now the load that we're seeing on the network. We have the output current, there's nothing running at the moment, the filter is stopped. And we have the phase voltages. You can see a little bit distortion on this phase voltage, that's what we saw in the spectrum before. And then we have the event window. The event window just shows you all the alarms that happened, or at the moment there's no alarm active. You can, however, see all of the alarm statuses that we have in the active filter. The same with warnings, there are all the warnings available in here, and all the events that happened recently. You can trigger log files here as well, and if you have an alarm that happened, you will also be able to download the log files in this event view. In the About window we have some basic information as well, like the software version that is installed, the SSC2 identifier, and here we also have the possibility to update the software as well as import and export the settings. And last but not least, we have the setup window. Setup window is the first window that you would see when you start on the active filter the first time. Here you set up the basic information of the active filter and the grid, and from here you start also the diagnostic that is run to see that the filter is working properly. We will have a separate video about the setup as well as the diagnostic coming up relatively soon. That is all for today. Thank you for watching and see you soon.